Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's continue our game of Ascendant Hearts on Nintendo Switch. In the morning, we met up in the town square. Aiko and Chisei look like they're ready for a tough fight. Shiori looks tolerant, at least. Let's get this over with. Is everyone prepared for what could be our final battle against the Dark Wolves Master? It won't be. Shouldn't we be fully prepared just in case? I'll take that as a yes. Hayato? Yes. Are you ready? I have my sword and a few healing items in my inventory. After we split up last night, I turned in my skill points for a charge. A new skill that taught me how to get a running start and ram enemies. Trying it on a real opponent will be a lot trickier than fighting training dummies, but I'm ready enough for this. Yeah? To be honest, I don't believe Dr. Takizawa is the mastermind. Maybe he's in league with whoever sent the Dark Wolves, but he doesn't seem like the type to coordinate all these attacks. Besides, she already trusts him. He may be a bit crazy, but I can't believe she'd let herself be deceived by someone out to destroy Lightshire. Let's go. Together, we set out for Dr. Takizawa's lab. Remember, stay alert for any tricks. If Dr. Takizawa captures us, do you think he'll use us for experiments? Of course not. How do you know? He wouldn't do such a thing. Has he ever experimented on humans, as far as you know? No. Well, I mean, maybe a few times, but those were volunteers. Sure, volunteers. They were. And I really don't want to become a volunteer anytime soon. Don't worry about that. Finally. Oh, I didn't mean to defend Dr. Takizawa. He's still suspicious. However, we do have one key advantage. Well, what's that? You? Me? Oh, you mean because of the prophecy? Of course, if Hayato is the one prophesied to save Lightshire from the Dark Wolves, and Dr. Takizawa is responsible for the attacks, we will be victorious. Even if some of us were captured, Hayato would win and save us. I hope so. I appreciate the vote of confidence, but don't do anything dangerous assuming I'll be able to get you out. You have the prophecy behind you. I stop. They take a few more steps and then realize I'm not with them. They turn to look at me. Before we go any further, let's talk about this prophecy. What is there to talk about? Are you sure it's about me? We've been through this. You're a visitor from another world, investigating the Dark Wolves. What more proof do you need? Okay, but what if somebody else came too, and that's who the prophecies actually meant? What are the chances of that? How should I know? They look at me for a moment in silence. Hayato, where you come from, do people from other worlds show up often? Of course not. I pause. At least, I don't think so. My memories are still cloudy, but the thought of people visiting from other worlds sounds out of place. All I can dredge up are remembered conversations and TV shows about aliens. That's not quite the same thing. If someone ever visited my world from another dimension or universe, it would be rare. People will probably argue about what really happened. It's definitely not a regular occurrence. No, I'm sure that doesn't happen. Then why would you expect it to here? Because almost nothing in this world follows the rules I know. Just relax. The prophecy has to be about you. Besides, you don't need to worry about it now anyway, because Dr. Takizawa isn't our enemy. Well, many things do remain unclear. You think so too? Let's walk as we discuss this. We resume our journey towards Dr. Takizawa's laboratory. The biggest question is that we don't know how Hayato got here. Did the gods simply summon him? That's a pretty weird thought. Can our gods affect other worlds, or do they have their own gods? Their own gods? Huh. You mean our gods might have made a bargain with the gods of Hayato's world so they could borrow him? You make it sound like I'm an item to be traded. Regardless of how you got here, the second question concerns your memory. When did the journey leave you with amnesia? Is it simply a side effect? It's not like you forget everything either. You remembered enough to know you were in a different world. Yeah, I could tell you a lot about my world, but not much about my own life. The few things I have remembered, I'd rather not share. They don't need to know about my increasing belief that this sense of friendship and camaraderie is new to me.
Maybe that's the point.
What do you mean?
Well, if you could remember your own life, you'd want to go home, right?
Maybe the gods took away your memories so you could focus on helping Lightshire before you're trying to leave. I guess that could be, but I don't know. I can't remember what my life was like, but when I concentrate on it, I feel a hint of sadness and loneliness. If I remembered everything, maybe I still would have stayed here, especially once I made friends.
Then there's an unfortunate possibility.
What's that?
Perhaps you know something that could help us stop the Dark Wolves, but because of accidental memory loss, you no longer remember.
Yikes. Yeah, that would definitely be unfortunate.
Come on. Then the prophecy would tell you to get your memories back first. It would say it in a mysterious way, but it would still be there.
I doubt anything from my world could help, anyway.
In any case, there's nothing we can do about it now. Let's keep moving.
When we finally reach Dr. Takuzawa's lab, the scientist isn't anywhere in sight when we open the door. However...
Dick! An attack! He must have been expecting us.
Oh, wait a minute. It might be friendly.
Everyone, calm down.
Friendly? Calm down? What are you two talking about?
If it's friendly, why is it looking at us that way?
Dr. Takuzawa is trying to train a guardian as his assistant? Come to think of it, he didn't quite explain what he wanted the guardian for. It might be just for the sake of science.
Or his guard. No, really, it startled us too, but it's not going to attack. Easy for you to say.
Just give it a chance.
Okay, if you say so. Fine.
The guardian continues its approach until it's a few feet away from us. Welcome to Dr. Takuzawa's laboratory.
Hey, you learn new words. It speaks?
Yeah, Dr. Takuzawa is experimenting with Ascendant magic to see if he can give monsters the ability to communicate with humans.
Wow. That's amazing.
I look at her in surprise. I'm not sure if I've ever heard her praise Dr. Takuzawa before.
I mean, it's still pretty dangerous and crazy, though.
I will tell Dr. Takuzawa that you are here. It turns away from us and heads deeper into the lab. This is quite an improvement from when we saw it last. After a few minutes, it returns with the scientist right behind it.
Ah, you must be here for the results of my analysis. Make yourselves at home, and I will give you the answers you seek. Stay alert.
Her voice is quiet, but Dr. Takuzawa gives her a puzzled frown.
I do appreciate you remaining alert for my explanation, yes.
She nods, but stands with her hands poised above her daggers, like she's ready to fight at any moment's notice. Aiko also appears tense. She keeps glancing at the Guardian. She already casts annoyed looks in their direction. I shift awkward from foot to foot. No matter how it turns out, I hope we get this over with soon.
What is the matter with all of you today?
What makes you think there's something wrong?
You all seem on edge.
He glances at the Guardian and then back to us.
Did my assistant startle you that much?
He looks at me.
Yet you and Shiori both should have known what to expect. Why do you seem so uncomfortable?
We'd like your analysis results, Doctor.
Very well. I'll need to retrieve my research notes. But first, let's outline what we already know. The flowers you gave me grow at the sacred spring, but what prompted your interest in them was finding one at... He abruptly stops and frowns at us all. I cannot lecture under these conditions. Tell me what the source of your discontent is, so we may remove it and return to our thoughts to science.
See, he wants to help us.
Shiori, you tell me. What is going on here?
Shiori looks at the rest of us.
We can't stand around twiddling our thumbs forever. We need to get to the bottom of this.
All right, Dr. Takuzawa, tell us you don't have any connection to the Dark Wolves.
I don't have any connection to the Dark Wolves? Why?
See? Oh, brother. That's not good enough, Doctor.
You people are serious about this, aren't you? You actually think I'm connected to the Dark Wolves?
We have to check every possibility.
Explain.
If there's any chance at all that you're responsible, we have to look into it.
I suppose you'll investigate every citizen?
No, only those with some tie to the current situation. Your interest in ascendancy qualifies you. Since we intend to visit you anyway about your analysis, it makes sense to come here.
A sound strategy. I approve.
He approves of us investigating him? I didn't expect that.
Very well. I'll play along. Let's suppose I'm the evil mastermind behind the attacks.
Dr. Takuzawa!
It's purely a hypothetical situation, I assure you. If I was, however, what did you expect to happen next? Would I confess?
Probably not.
Of course not. I would feign innocence and tell you I have no connection to the Dark Wolves. Which you already said. And so, we're at an impasse. What will you do next?
We exchange glances. This is why we need a better plan than hoping the prophecy will sort everything out.
Let us search your lab. Very well. I'll show you everything. Perhaps then we can stop this nonsense.
He walks to the door and leads deeper into the lab. Chise follows him.
Oh, no, no, no. We're not going in there, are we? How else can we investigate his lab? What if it's a trap? For the last time. I'm not going any further than this room. That's fine. Hayato, you stay with me, won't you? I don't want to be here all alone.
Sure, fine. Alright, I'll stay up here with Aiko.
Good plan. If something goes wrong, you'll be our backup. This is ridiculous.
Have you figured out who is going where? Good. They follow the scientists deeper into the lab, and Aiko shivers.
I hope they'll be alright.
They'll be fine. Like Chise said, we're here if they need us.
Yeah.
She wraps her arms around herself.
I'm really glad you're here. I wouldn't like being in this creepy lab all by myself.
It's a pretty weird place.
I know. I don't know what half this stuff even is.
Me neither, but I bet you if you asked Dr. Takizawa, he'd tell you.
He might talk for hours.
Either that or he'll shout, "It's science," and leave it at that.
She laughs. That was a pretty good Dr. Takizawa impersonation.
He makes it too easy.
You need to do the walk, though.
The walk?
Like how he paces all sinister and crazy when he's explaining his experiments.
Oh, like this? Fold my arms behind my back like I've seen Dr. Takizawa do on occasion, and stalk between the lab tables.
That's perfect.
She glances towards the door and waves her hands.
Now, stop that before they come back and he thinks you're making fun of him.
I stop pacing and sit down on one of the stools by the lab tables. Aiko hesitates and then sits next to me.
I wonder how they're doing.
Do you think we should check on them?
Not yet, I guess.
I don't know how big the full laboratory actually is. There might be a lot of places they need to see.
That's true.
We wait. Seconds tick by. Minutes pass. I can tell Aiko gets more anxious the longer we go without hearing anything from the others.
If we have to fight and I die, promise me you'll...
Stop that. You're not going to die. And if you do, I'm sure you'll respond at the church and everything will be fine.
I want to believe that.
I'm sure of it. We wait. Time passes.
That's it. We have to break down the door.
Wait, what?
Something must have gone wrong, so we need to burst in there and save them.
She lines up in front of the laboratory door and takes a few steps back. Shouldn't we try opening it first? But it's too late. Aiko charges forward at the door just as it opens. She slams straight into Dr. Takizawa.
Oh! Yeah, I'm sorry. Dramatically running to our rescue, I see. Yes, that was the idea. Oh, brother, as you can see, we're just fine.
Everything's all right then?
I find it highly improbable that Dr. Takizawa is behind the attacks. I've been saying that the entire time. Really? He didn't brainwash you to making you say that, did he?
Dr. Takizawa throws his hands in the air.
I have trained to resist brainwashing technique and mind control. Do not worry. I saw nothing that could link Dr. Takizawa to the attacks, nor any trace of the Dark Wolves in the lab.
That seemed like enough to convince even Aiko.
Alright. Sorry, Dr. Takizawa. I accept your apology if it means we can put this absurd accusation behind us and return our thoughts to the matters of science.
That sounds good to me.
What did you learn about the flowers? You deduced the link between the flowers and the Dark Wolves, which led you to suspect a connection between the Dark Wolves and the Sacred Spring. This proved false. However, there is a reason these flowers are most commonly found there. What is it? Let me get my research notes. He leaves us alone in the lab's outer room once again. I don't want to say I told you so, but he's still a mad scientist. What? Just because he isn't involved with the Dark Wolves doesn't mean he can't be up to something sinister. Dr. Takizawa's experiments are benevolent tests conducted for the good of humanity, and I'll prove it. She looks around the lab and walks to a chest sitting against the wall. She crouches beside it, opens it, and pulls out a small vial filled with clear liquid. What are you going to do with that? I'm going to drink it.
What?
Are you certain this is a wise course of action? Relax. The chest is where Dr. Takazawa stores experimental potions intended for human consumption. I helped him with this batch. If I remember correctly, this one will either temporarily heighten my senses or grant me 3 seconds of invulnerability. Then, you'll see he has humanity's best interest at heart. Everything about drinking an unlabeled experimental potion sounds bad, but there's nothing Aiko, Chise, and I can do as Shiori unseals the beaker and drinks the liquid in a single gulp. She stops and blinks at us, then slowly puts down the beaker and blinks at us some more. Are you alright?
What's wrong? Do you need to lie down? I feel strange.
Uh-oh, this can't be good.
Restless and...
She suddenly rushes towards me.
Help me, Hayato.
Okay, what do you need?
You.
What?
I need you, Hayato. Right now.
What are you doing? In case I had any doubts about her intention, she begins tugging at my clothes. I step back and try to get away. Now wait a minute, Shiori.
What's wrong? You said you would help.
Yes, but I didn't know you meant...
And isn't every guy supposed to dream about a beautiful woman demanding his attention?
Well, that's not...
Are you saying I'm not beautiful?
No, what? No, I didn't...
Then cooperate with me.
But Shiori...
Should we leave to give you two some privacy? Yes.
No.
Then should I go find a lawyer?
A lawyer?
Yes, fetching a lawyer would be wise. He can fight off Shiori and help Hayato press charges for assault. What? Why would Hayato press charges against me? We're just...
In my lab. Over Shiori's shoulder, I watched Dr. Takizawa emerge with a horrified expression on his face. How could you? In my lab?
But Dr. Takizawa, she drank a potion from that chest over there, then she went straight for Hayato. My head.
She backs away from me and rubs her head.
What did I just...
She gives me a horrified look.
Tell me that didn't really happen.
Well... She rounds on Dr. Takizawa.
What sort of potions do you put in that chest?
I thought it was the one we worked on together, but isn't of heightened my... Wait. But instead of heightening my senses or granting me invulnerability, it... Don't tell me you drank my experimental hormonal enhancing libido potion. Your what?
In other words, that was a lust potion.
I beg your pardon, but the scientific term is hormonal enhancing libido potion. Why do you even have one of those?
Well, for completely moral and occasional medical purposes, I assure you.
He looks affronted by the implication that he'd use it for anything else.
Uh-huh.
It's still in the experimental stage. The final product will be much less alarming. How does he test something like this? If it's meant for humans, he can't try it on monsters. Does he have volunteers? Use it on himself? Before I can ask, he turns to Shiori and shakes his head.
How many times must I tell you to never drink an unlabeled potion without testing it first? I'll remember next time for sure.
See that you do. Now, may we kindly return to our thoughts to science?
Yes, please. What did you learn about the flowers?
Their seeds may lie dormant across the world, never to bloom as plentifully as they do there. You see, they require the presence of ascendant magic to grow. So, if we want to find out where the dark worlds come from, we need to find another place like the Sacred Spring.
It could be an environmental source, like the Sacred Spring, or someone with particularly strong ascendant magic.
You mean if someone had that power, these flowers would start growing where they live?
Exactly.
That sounds like what we're looking for then. Someone with powerful ascendant magic would be able to control the dark wolves, and it would explain the presence of the flower.
Now we just need to find another place where these flowers bloom.
I will see if I can learn anything else that may be of use to you.
Thank you. And I'm really sorry for suspecting you.
Stop apologizing. Unless you want to be my new test subject to make up for it.
No.
Until we find any new clues, we should continue with our original plan. That means we're off to Highwater next. I recommend we return to Lightshire for the night and head there tomorrow. That sounds good to me. It's a quiet journey back to Lightshire, although Shiori is clearly delighted that Dr. Takizawa proved himself innocent. By the time we get back, I'm more tired than I expected. I say goodnight to the others and head to the inn to get some sleep. Is High Cleric Ninsei the culprit, or is it someone else? We'll know soon enough, and we need to have a better plan. We can't rush in there hoping for the prophecy to take care of things.
The prophecy. It nags at my thoughts as I lie down and try to fall asleep. Why me? If Lightshire needs a hero from another world, why am I the one? But I don't have any more answers than I did on our way to the lab, and finally I drift away. I run down the street. My heart pounds and I gasp for breath, but I push on anyway. I need to get away. It doesn't matter where I go, as long as it's somewhere else. I need space to think.
What's the matter, Hayato? Family kick you out again? Just leave me alone.
I continue past, but his laughter follows me as I race down the street. At last I'm alone. I lean against the wall of the nearest building and let out a heavy sigh. Soon I'll have to return. I have no choice. For now, though, I can find peace.
You seem unhappy.
A sudden voice makes me jump.
Who are you? Are you lonely? I want to be your friend. Won't you be my friend?
What an odd dream. Even as I try to focus on the conversation from my dream last night, it fades away, but the lingering sense of loneliness and fear makes my chest tighten. Was it just a dream, or was I remembering something? Lonely. I do have a sense that I was lonely before I came to Lightshire, but my memories are still too faint. In my dream, I was running, but why? What was I trying to get away from? And if that conversation really occurred, what did it mean? Someone offered to be my friend, but I can't remember having any friends before I came here. I wouldn't forget a friend, would I? Oh well, I can't remember the dream well enough to try to figure anything out. If it was important, maybe it will come back to me eventually, preferably with the rest of my memories. For the moment, I have more important things to worry about. It's time to visit High Cleric Ninsei. Once again, we gather in the town square. Is everyone prepared for what could be our final battle against the Dark Wolves Master?
You said that exact same thing yesterday.
Since Dr. Takezawa is innocent, it applies equally well to our upcoming confrontation.
No, it does not.
She looks tense. Not like she's prepared for a battle, but more like she's afraid she'll start shouting if she doesn't restrain herself.
High Clerk Ninsei is a good, wonderful person. And maybe he'll prove his innocence too. He will.
We won't know for sure until we get there, and this time we need a plan.
What sort of plan?
The sort that doesn't involve us walking in blind and hoping the prophecy will tell us what to do next.
I agree. In fact, I've already made a plan last night.
You did? I was trying to work out my own plan. I didn't expect you to already have one.
Of course, plans can change. We don't know exactly what we'll face. However, I think our best course of action is this. When we arrive at the cathedral, we confront High Cleric Ninsei with our suspicions. If he denies them, we demand to see all of his work concerning Ascendant magic.
I've been thinking of something a little more subtle, trying to learn what Ninsei was up to without accusing him right away.
What's the matter, Hayato? You look surprised.
Well, it's nothing. I just had a different plan in mind.
What is it?
I thought it would be better to act friendly at first and see if we could get some details from Ninsei before we accuse him.
Maybe we should go with your plan.
What?
I still prefer the direct approach in this situation, but you're the hero chosen by the prophecy. We should go with the plan that you like the best.
I didn't expect her to put the decision in my hands because of the prophecy. Then again, I didn't expect her to suggest an alternative right away either. Which is better, the subtle approach I wanted or the direct confrontation Chise prefers? Subtlety. Let's use my plan.
Very well.
What do you want us to do? When we're with Ninsei, we shouldn't show any sign that we mistrust him. Instead, we should ask about his research into Ascendant magic as if we want to help him with our own investigation.
And use that to get a better idea how far his research has gone? Alright, let's give it a try. What will we do if we learn High Cleric Ninsei is involved in the attacks?
Then we will likely come to a battle. We'll fight the way we usually do, but I think it would be best if Aiko retreats to Lightshire to get reinforcements.
What? Why me? How is it possibly a good idea to send our healer away?
I've got plenty of potions. We should be able to hold our own. If he can summon dark wolves to help him, we'll need reinforcements. And sending away one of our primary damage dealers is a bad idea. Besides, she's the one who will have the most difficulty fighting him. Aiko looks down on the ground.
But I don't want to go.
You'd rather stay and fight High Cleric Ninsei?
No, but if it really comes to that, I want to be there.
She turns to me. Once again, we should let prophecy dictate our course of action through its hero. Hayato? I hesitate. It's clear from Chise's tone that she believes we should send Aiko away during the battle. I'm not sure if it's about reinforcements at all, or just because Aiko believes Ninsei so much. It could be a problem if someone on our side won't fight the enemy. On the other hand, Aiko sounds so determined to stay. If it ends up being the final battle, this is the one where she believes she'll die. She must really be determined if she wants to be there with us, despite her fears. I don't know. She can stay for the battle. I don't know. I think Aiko should stay with us for the battle. If we really need reinforcements, we can send someone later.
Fine. Thank you. Thank you so much, Hayato.
Are we ready to go then? I think so.
Wait, first I want to say something.
She takes a deep breath and stands to face us all.
Maybe it's easy to mistrust High Cleric Ninsei. Adventurers have faced evil religions in the past, but he isn't like that. He's a good man. I was wrong about Dr. Takizawa, and I know when we get to Highwater, you'll see that you're wrong. There's no way High Cleric Ninsei had any ties to the Dark Wolves.
Hey, I don't mean to interrupt, but did you say you're going to Highwater?
She did. Why?
I'll go with you. I have a quest reward to collect for High Cleric Ninsei. He asked me to return his copies of Advanced Summoning and Summoning Through the Ages to the library. Silence follows his statement. Advanced Summoning? Summoning Through the Ages? Those sound like books someone would need if they were summoning the Dark Wolves. Did I say something wrong?
No, it's fine. That is...
A moment later, she overcomes her shock and composes herself.
The attacks began too long ago for him to still have the books now.
What if he needed to refine his technique? Or what if he checks the books out regularly because he can't perform the summoning magic without them?
No.
We won't find out the truth standing here. Sorry, but what are you guys arguing about?
We're on our way to Highwater to confront and possibly fight High Cleric Ninsei. If you no longer wish to accompany us, we'll understand.
High Cleric Ninsei? That sounds like it could be a major story quest. I wouldn't miss it for the world. He hesitates. Just one thing, though. Will you let me collect my quest reward before the fighting starts?
Of course.
Then I'm on board. I'm not sure I'll ever understand this place.
If everyone's ready, then we should leave.
We sat out across the field together, and I realize I have no idea where Highwater is. How do we get to Highwater?
It's north of Lightshire, so the quickest path from here is through the forest.
Alright. I wonder how many places I'll see before I go back to my world. If I ever go back, that is. If this world is anywhere near the size of ours, the few areas around Lightshire are only a small fraction. It's still mind-boggling to think there's an entire second world here.
Hayato, you look dazed.
Sorry, I just lost in thought.
Let's keep moving. The roads around Highwater are fairly safe, but we don't want to waste time.
We walk through the forest quietly. I glance up at the trees and can't help but remember my first trip here with Shiori. The thought makes me look at her when our gazes meet. But when our gazes meet, she rolls her eyes and looks away. Once we've traveled a fair distance, Aiko steps to my side.
I need to discuss something with you. It's very important.
What is it? Given our situation, she's probably worried about either our upcoming conversation with Ninsei or her own death.
If you have any feelings for me, please forget them.
Okay, this is definitely not what I expected at all. What?
You don't want me to die, do you?
Of course not.
Well, I've been thinking things over. You might have a point when you claim I can survive this. All, but not if I'm part of a love triangle.
What?
You're the hero, and when the hero ends up in a love triangle, one of the love interests is likely to die to remove the problem. Since I already met some criteria to die, it's probably me. Wait a minute. Just who do you think is the third member of this love triangle? It better not be me. I don't know what you think Strictly speaking, the sort of situation Aiko describes would be relevant even if no one had feelings for Hayato, so long as he had feelings for at least two of them.
I look at Brad to see the only other guy here shares my awkwardness at this discussion of my potential romantic interest, but he's nodding as though the conversation is completely normal. I hope death by love triangles isn't common here.
So please, Hayato, for my sake, if I'm part of a love triangle with you, forget your feelings for me.
I wish I could pretend this topic never came up, but she watches me expectantly. She must want an answer.
Oh, come on. Do you think it's that easy? It's not like he can just flip a switch and turn off his feelings. Now, if he even has feelings for you, which is pretty arrogant to assume. What? No, I didn't mean it in an arrogant way. What if it's a love quadrangle? A what? Quadrangle, you know, with 4 people involved. He's right, and the participants of a love quadrangle often end up paired off without anyone dying. Paired off? Brad, are you saying you're one of the 4? Are you in love with one of us?
Wait, what? How did I end up?
Enough. This conversation is ridiculous. Let's stop worrying about who loves who and get back to saving Lightshire, all right?
To my relief, that ends it. I meet Shiori's gaze and give her a grateful nod, but she just rolls her eyes again. We continue on the rest of the way in silence. Highwater is a big city, much larger and more crowded than Lightshire. We also pass groups of adventurers on our way, busy with what appear to be organized patrols to keep monsters away from the main road. Knowing that adventurers in a town like this follow the guidelines created in a tiny place like Lightshire gives me new respect for the guildmaster. He must have been one determined guy to make everyone listen to him. Is something wrong?
Huh?
You look disturbed.
I was just wondering how things would be if I lived in a city like this instead of Lightshire. It's so big. Even if people heard about my reputation, they might not recognize me. Maybe I'd be able to make friends.
Oh, you have us. She tilts her head as if it isn't quite. She tilts her head as if she isn't quite sure what I said at first, and then she laughs.
Of course, I have friends now.
She glances at the others, then back at me.
Oh, one at least.
You have a whole party.
I know, but it took so many years. If I lived here, maybe I wouldn't have had to wait that long.
Maybe you wouldn't have met us at all.
That's a good point. I'm glad things worked out this way.
When Aiko hesitantly speaks up, we look at her, but then she steps back and shakes her head.
Never mind. We don't have time for this. Debate the merits of city life after we've dealt with High Cleric Ninsei.
I'm not sure that's the sort of thing she should say out loud in the middle of Highwater, but if anyone heard, they don't care. None of the passers-by pay us any attention.
High Cleric Ninsei will prove his innocence. So you believe. I know it. Follow me. The cathedral is this way.
If Highwater looked massive compared to Lightshire, it's nothing compared to how the cathedral dwarfs the tiny church. It's an impressive sight, and a bit intimidating. We're not going up against some eccentric scientist who lives on the edge of town this time. We're going after a very powerful man. Remember, let me turn my quest first.
Very well.
He nods and raises his voice. Your Holiness, are you here?
I'll be there in a moment.
We wait. After a few minutes, a door near the altar opens and the High Cleric steps out. He bows to the altar and then walks down the aisle to greet us. What has brought such an illustrious gathering to my humble hall? I can't tell if he's mocking us or trying to be friendly. I returned your book to the library, Your Holiness. Ah, and now you would like your quest reward. Thank you for your assistance, child. Take this and use it well. He hands Brad a pouch that jingles with coins. Thank you. Brad steps back, but instead of leaving, he sits down in one of the cathedral pews and watches us. I guess he wants to see how things turn out. He did say he wouldn't want to miss it for the world, after all. High Cleric Ninsei looks at the rest of us. I assume he did not need so large an escort to keep him safe on the road to Highwater, and I have not put forth any recent quests. He trails off, and a shadow of suspicion clouds his face. This isn't good. Could he know why we're here? We exchange glances. If Ninsei really is up to something sinister, it might be dangerous to try to get information out of him now. Anything we ask about Ascendant magic or summoning might confirm his suspicion that we're on his trail. Ninsei abruptly begins to laugh.
Your Holiness, what are you doing?
So, you've learned my secret, have you? I should have known it was only a matter of time. Wait, is this it? He's not even going to pretend to be innocent? The hour has come. Behold the dawn of a new age, foolish adventurers. She grabs her daggers. I draw my sword. Shiori lifts her hands, about to prepare a spell. From the pew, Brad gets to his feet as if he might join the battle. But Aiko just continues to stare at Ninsei with a crestfallen expression.
Your Holiness, you can't be serious.
You're right, I'm not. The dramatic air he adopted a moment ago fades, and he shrugs.
Don't scare me like that.
I apologize. She says Shiori and Brad look as bewildered as I feel. What was that all about?
High Cleric Ninsei, we came here because we believe that I'm up to something evil, correct?
Well, yes.
Do you know how often I have to deal with this? Every few weeks, a group of adventurers show up, armed to the teeth, and swears they've uncovered my evil deeds. It's gotten to be most tiring.
if armed warriors show up on a regular basis to kill me, I don't think tiring is the way I describe it. I know some of my predecessors tried to make with themselves gods, and there was that nasty business with the Inquisition. But a few high clerics tried to wipe out the rest of the world's religions. But really, I don't understand why people hold it against me. With all due respect, Your Holiness, you just shouted that we were about to witness the dawn of a new age. You had to admit that was a bit suspicious. I always wanted to say something dramatic like that. It's someone honest to explain that I'm not an evil man. He pretended to be the bad guy because he was bored? Explain it away. She does not seem amused at all by the High Cleric's antics. Very well, child. I shall explain myself. First, however, I need to know that what I'm being accused of this time. Did you think I was after godhood, world domination, or perhaps I'm an embezzler? Actually, we thought you might be the person sending the Dark Wolves to attack Lightshire. What? They thought that. I didn't. I'll say nothing. She glares at the rest of us. Oh, this is a new one. No one has ever accused me of attacking Lightshire. Why would I ever want to hurt that pretty little town? We don't know your motives, but you've been researching Ascendant magic and summoning spells. That's right. Summoning magic. Ah, yes, because the Dark Wolves appear in a flash of light, correct? It makes sense that such magic is still at work. And I assume you came to the conclusion that a human is behind these attacks, someone able to communicate with them and command the Dark Wolves, and so you connected them to Ascendancy. Right. That is the same conclusion I came to. Are you saying your research is because you want to track down the source of the attacks, just like we do? She sounds skeptical. I am. You sound sincere. Is it possible we're all trying to do the same thing? To someone on the outside, maybe our investigation looks just as suspicious as Dr. Takizawa and High Cleric Nensei's research did to us. I sheathe my sword. After a moment, Chisei puts her daggers away. See, you all got worked up for nothing. But what about the summoning magic? Clearly, he was studying it because of the Dark Wolves. Yeah, right. Did you hear him a minute ago? He had to think about it before he realized we linked the Dark Wolves to summoning magic. And that one book Brad said he returned to the library. Advanced summoning? That's the sort of thing you'd read to learn how to do it, not to study the concept. Well, I'm sure he just... You are correct, child. I have attempted to learn summoning magic. Aika falls silent, and we all look at him. He must have a good explanation, or he wouldn't sound so calm. Have you seen the prophecy about the Dark Wolves? My heart skips a beat. The prophecy? The one Chisei believes named me as the hero who will save the Lightshire? We found a prophecy at the Temple of Bazal, if that's what you mean. That's correct. He folds his hands and quotes the prophecy from memory. Only one can stop the Ascendant Heart, a traveler to our land sent by the gods from another world. Chisei gasps and takes a step back. If you aren't trying to summon the Dark Wolves... I see by the look in your eyes that you have guessed the truth. Correct. I am attempting to summon the prophesied hero to our world. No way. I couldn't help the outburst. I wondered how I came to this world, but I never imagined High Cleric Nensei summoned me here. Indeed. However, my efforts were for naught. Although I felt the presence of another world, my summoning circle remained empty. No hero appeared. I'm a priest, not a mage. My skills must not have been enough. But, Your Holiness, if the prophecy says the gods would send someone, why would you try to summon a hero yourself? The gods frequently work through us, child. It would be irresponsible of me to wait patiently for the gods to act, because they might have intended to act through me. Alas, it was for nothing. Not necessarily. Whatever do you mean? She meets my gaze, and I nod with a shrug. It won't do any harm for an Nensei to know the truth about me, especially if he's the one who brought me here. Hayato is from another world. Hayato? Me. You? He stares at me. For a moment, he opens his mouth without saying anything. Is it really that hard to believe? Then again, we didn't get off on the right foot when we first met. But that cannot be. I know Hayato doesn't look like a great hero, Your Holiness. Hey! It isn't that. After all, many heroes come from humble origins. However, follow me, and I'll show you. He leads us to the front of the cathedral behind the altar. This is a summoning circle. Oh my. Please do not look so distraught, child. I use this magic for the gods with the gods' blessing. I know a little bit about summoning circles. The person or creature you summoned is supposed to appear in it, right? Correct. Yet mine remained empty. If I summoned anyone to our world, whether Hayato or someone else, they should have appeared here. Instead, I woke up in Lightshire. Several miles from where you conducted the spell. You're right, it doesn't add up. And yet, could it really be a coincidence? When did you appear in this world, child? 1 day before I met you. When did you attempt the spell, Your Holiness? 1 day before I asked the two of you to visit the ancient library of Kyr. In other words, the same day Hayato appeared in Lightshire. But if Hayato didn't appear in the summoning circle like he was supposed to, what does that mean? It's a coincidence. Seriously? Why would I appear several miles to the south if he summoned me here? I don't know, but do you really think someone else summoned you on the exact same day he tried? Well, let's not be hasty. We still don't know how Hayato ended up here. Perhaps no summoning magic was necessary. Perhaps the gods truly sent you to us, child. I guess that's possible. Do you truly believe you are the one who will stop the Ascendant Heart named by the prophecy? Well, I want to stop the Dark Wolves at least. Then you have my blessing. May the gods watch over you and protect you in your quest. May they guide you to the truth and bring peace to our world. Thank you. However, I should ask, was my explanation satisfactory, or do you still suspect me? I'm satisfied. I am too. Me too. I just came along to see what would happen. I don't think His Holiness is responsible either, but that leaves us without any leads to follow. Not again. But she is right. Our clues pointed us towards Dr. Takizawa and High Cleric Ninsei. If neither of them is guilty, we're out of ideas again. What is it? It could be a coincidence, and I hesitate to cast suspicion on anyone without proof. But I have heard strange stories lately of a mysterious swordsman who roams our land. That's right. I heard a rumor like that too. His origins are unknown, his swordsmanship is unmatched, and they say he speaks with monsters as if they were human. Ascendant magic. So it would seem. A mysterious swordsman, somehow it always comes to that. I guess we should try to find him. May the gods watch over all of you. Back out on the streets of Highwater, we stop to consider the situation and figure out our next move. Oh boy, talking a lot. Well, I'm heading back to Lightshire. That was fun. We should do it again sometime. I hope he means adventuring together, not accusing prominent religious leaders of summoning monsters. Bye. We all say farewell to Brad as he heads out of Highwater. Once we're alone, Chisei faces us. We need to find the swordsman. But how? If there are rumors about him, we might be able to track him that way. People must talk when he's in town. Alright, let's split up and... Heck! What in the world? I reach for my sword. Calm down. If he's not in the Temple of Bazal, he's off duty. Off duty? An off-duty ghost? Are you sure? Oh, please calm down. You're the 10th person who screamed, and I've only been in Highwater for 10 minutes. If this keeps up, shopping in Highwater will stop being fun, too. Too? It's no fun at the Coliseum today. A couple of real weirdos kept stirring up trouble. He's calling someone else weird? What sort of trouble? One of them kept acting like he can understand monsters. He watches the fights and mutters under his breath what the monsters are feeling. It's downright creepy. And if he's going to give out, and if it's enough to give a ghost creeps, you know it's bad. He can understand the monsters? I look at her. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? This mysterious man, is he a swordsman? Yes, he carries a sword. How did you know? I'll explain another time. For now, we have to leave. We're due at the Coliseum to see just who these troublemakers are. We leave Highwater as fast as possible to reach the Coliseum while the swordsman is still there. A mysterious swordsman with ascendant magic causing trouble at a Coliseum doesn't sound too sinister, but he meets the criteria for the Dark World's master. I don't like rushing without working out a new plan, but we can't waste time. This way. This is one place I'd hope we'd never have to go again. Great. Why are we here? Do we seriously need to go through this forest to reach the Coliseum? Fortunately, Chisei doesn't seem to be leading us anywhere near the Temple of Bazal. Since we're moving pretty fast, we shouldn't be here too long, unless the Coliseum is actually in the forest. What kind of Coliseum is it? People bet on monster battles, I think.
I've never been there. Enough chatting, more moving.
We press on through the forest at an even faster pace. When we reach the Colosseum, it is immediately apparent something's going on. The crowd isn't watching the arena. Instead, they are clustered together near the side of the room where people are shouting. Oh, listen to this music. What in the world? Alright, why don't we stop it there for today? This is Audapostrophe. You've been watching Ascendant Hearts on Nintendo Switch. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.